A very good morning to you. Welcome to Engage this Thursday morning. Remember, today we are discussing separation and divorce. We have a psychologist and an educator who will be taking us through this discussion for the next 2 hours. We also have a single mom in the house, and we also have a reverend and a parish minister from the PCEA Pangani Church who will also be giving us the spiritual aspect or angle, if you may. This discussion is bound to be open and very genuine because we are going to be tackling a real life situation, and then we are going to be having people who have gone who have counseled people who have gone through separation or divorce, and they're going to tell us basically as it is. If you want to join in this conversation, don't forget to tweet me via TV47KE or via my personal Twitter handle at Angie Wangeshi. Help me welcome the guests in studio. On my immediate right, I have Victor Karani, who's an educator and psychologist. Karibu to the show. I have Pastor Susan Kibe, who's also a single mom, and it's very gracious of you to come and share your personal experience. I like this because not many people are strong enough to come out and say this. Probably I'm going through this and I'm here looking all fab and you wouldn't know, so it takes a courageous person. Thank you for that. We also have Reverend Kamau Thairo from the PCA Pangani Church. Karibu sana to the show. Thank you for making time to help someone out there who's probably going through the same and doesn't know where to start or where to even or where to go for help or who to talk to for that matter. So those are some of the things we'll be handling. So to start us off, Pastor Susan Kibe.
Yes.
First of all, you're a pastor?
Yes, I am.
Yes. So for you to be going through the situation you're about to paint a picture for us, is already putting you in a very unique situation because there are do's and don'ts, especially when you're calling yourself a pastor.
Yes.
So take us through your story.
Wow. I've been separated for 3 years now, and I'm a single mom of 2 children. And when the whole story was starting, of course you have seasons when you're wondering, was God even there? How did I even find myself here? Because by the time I got my first child, I was still a party girl in the world. I didn't know much about life. And so as I continued with life, number one, there's this denial part of I cannot raise a child alone, because I've come from a family of mom and dad, and that is what I had in mind, even when I was growing up. So in that scenario, I found myself, when my son was 4 years, I met this person who I thought I would settle with. I was still not born again, so I'm still in the world, so I'm lacking counsel, and I'm doing things on my own. I'm not accountable to anyone, just flowing.
Yeah.
So when I met this gentleman and we decided to settle down, the way many people would think settling down, but in my own way.
Yeah.
And so in a year and a half now, I got my second child, that is my daughter. So while in this, I call it arrangement because I was not married.
Yes.
So while in the arrangement, that is when I gave my life to Christ and I encountered God and I learned my purpose. That is when I joined church. I ministered at New Breed City Chapel on Kiambu Road.
Yes.
So while I was in New Breed, as I learned the word, I was taught how to pray. I figured out what my idea of marriage is not what I was in. It's not the way God intends for it to be. And so I became deliberate that God, I desire to settle and I desire to have this right, so order my steps. So that is what happened, basically. So as I continued learning and, of course, observing the picture I get from my parents in the faith, they are a beautiful couple who, when you look at them, you want to do marriage.
Yeah.
Yes, so now, while I was in that, God started ordering my steps.
Yeah.
Like you are looking forward to settle down, but you have settled yourself.
Yeah.
So I needed to put things in order. And so in prayer, God led me out of the arrangement.
Yes.
It was not hard for me because I was not married, no introduction, It was just an arrangement. I just found myself
Walk in,
there.
walk out.
Walk in, walk out, exactly. But also it has its both sides because you see, I walked out and I left somebody who I thought I would have a life with.
True.
And most times, like in this journey, where up to where I am now, I work with women who've been through divorce, actual divorce, and also separation.
Yes.
That's my line of ministry.
Yes.
But now you see, them, probably theirs was violence, there was unfaithfulness. Mine had nothing of those issues. It was purely
So
purpose.
it's a totally entire new kind of thing.
We are not in purpose, so that is how I walked out.
Yeah.
So you see, you're still somehow attached to this person, so it was extremely painful.
Yeah.
But God has seen me through the 3 years, and I have picked my lessons. Today, as I speak to a fellow woman, I know like exactly what to tell them.
Yeah.
How to take your children through it, and of course minister hope and healing.
Yeah, like you all know, God cannot give you a burden that you can't handle, and also sometimes we don't look at problems as a stepping stone to help someone else.
Yes.
Because if you are not able to go through that, you wouldn't be able to address or help someone else. Because otherwise you'd be, at times women go to the hospital and they're telling the nurse, okay, probably when they're delivering, okay, I'm due, like I can feel the baby crowding, I'm sorry, excuse us. And they'll be like, no, bado, and you're telling them, you see, so you have to know what someone is going through for you to help them better. Karani.
Yes.
How big is this situation in Kenya? How many cases of this are we seeing? Because the kind of marriages I'm seeing these days are totally, for lack of a better word, urban. Like the arrangements are not even what we normally know.
Yes, yes.
Even from the church aspect. So how many cases or how bad is the situation when it comes to separation and divorce?
Angie, okay, I would like to start by saying, first thing is that majority of people, even who are in marriages, first of all,
still single or separated. I've heard them saying,
people are not in sync with each other.
I'm still doing everything. So it's probably like a housemate.
Exactly. Actually, whatever we are even seeing outside here, it's just a small portion of whatever is actually happening in our marriages.
Yes.
I like seeing that marriage is one great institution that I say that was initiated by God.
Yes.
And we are having a generation whereby we are taking it quite casually.
Yes.
And we are not directing it the way it is supposed to be directed, because we are not also in connection. We are not in connection with the person who initiated it. So it is a big problem, and people are in denial, like Pastor said here.
Yes.
And you know, unless people are willing to come out and speak, to come up out and say whatever they are going through, then it is an institution that, with time, it will be in big chaos, in great chaos. Yes.
So you actually believe that people have a very casual approach to it?
Yes, yes.
Reverend Kamau, coming to you.
Yes.
How does this make you feel when you're seeing things changing and you know the original concept of or context of marriage is based on the church? How about the marriages that you're seeing these days? It's either, like Pastor said, it's come we stay, walk in, walk out, or I have a boyfriend here and there, or even 5 hours to go, try this thing. If this one is not working, move on. Like, how does that make you feel?
Thank you. First, I think I want to begin on a position of hope.
Yes.
That there are many marriages that are breaking, but there are many more that are surviving, and they're beautiful. So when we discuss separation and divorce, let us first not move from a position of being scared.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, I agree and acknowledge with the two previous who spoke. One is that marriage has become very casual these days. Walk in, walk out, simply because I am bored, then we come, get an arrangement, and until that moment, excitement dies. Then when the excitement dies, then we walk out.
Yes.
That's one. Two, issues of violence and all other aspects. So this far, I think, and Karani intimated that, I think we need to redefine and relook and reevaluate what marriage actually is, so that thereafter we can talk about divorce. But today, because it is separation and divorce, I think
you can still tackle it. It's actually allowed. It's because, probably,
It's a solution.
Let's marriage and divorce.
Yes.
You see, the fact that we are talking 2,000 years later since Christ left, and we are still struggling with this issue of divorce and marriage, it means first, it is not only our generation that is faced with this. Even during the time of Jesus, and even before that, during the time of Moses, even during the times of the prophets, because in the scripture you will see issues of being divorced spoken about. But to start with marriage, the way the scriptures have conceived marriage is a union of a man and a woman into a covenant. Into a covenant. Not simply because you're bored, not simply for
Because
convenience.
time is flying.
Yeah, because
You're
exactly.
growing old. Or someone needs
Utaleta-
grandchildren somewhere.
Yes, utaleta wajukuu lini.
Yeah, wajukuu lini, even a day after the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because you got someone pregnant and to save face.
Yes.
That's not what is conceived in the scriptures. What is conceived in the scriptures is a covenant. And actually, this one is repeated by Jesus Christ, Matthew 19, 1 to 12, when he's speaking about divorce. One day he's walking, and Pharisees come to him and ask him, oh teacher, supposing a man wants to divorce his wife, is he allowed to divorce? And then Jesus Christ goes on and explains, from the beginning of time, God created a man and a woman. That the man and the woman leave their parents, come together to cleave. And note that word, cleave. And after they cleave, after that union, no man should put them apart. So up to that moment, there is no divorce. Once they are united in a covenant. Then the next thing, the Pharisees come back to him and ask him, oh teacher, then was Moses contradicting, that's Deuteronomy 24 verse 3, was Moses contradicting when he said, if a man desires to divorce his wife, he should give the wife a certificate of divorce? Jesus responds to them and tells them, no. But because of your hard hearts, then there was divorce. Therefore, that is why Moses advised, should you ever divorce, there should be a certificate. And he gave a qualification. There should be no divorce except in the cases of immorality, which is the same qualification Moses had given. Moses had given indecency. Indecency in this case means improper behavior, particularly sexual behavior.
Yeah.
So Jesus Christ gives a qualification. You can go ahead, divorce, but on the basis of sexual immorality.
Yeah.
But here is the other thing that you need to note. Divorce, Jesus Christ says, divorce is not simply divorce for the sake of divorce. Ati sahi umenibosi kuski, umesota, make all these things. It's none of that.
Yeah.
He gives qualification, except in the case of immorality. And just to finish
That's
the
now
overview.
in the biblical context.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul later on, and this one, a few months ago, there was a big uproar when one of the churches said, a divorcee cannot remarry.
Yeah.
They were referring to Paul. Paul in 1 Corinthians, I think chapter 7 says, that he that divorces should never remarry. And these are things we need to consider and give proper guidance, which hopefully we can.
We will tackle that.
Yeah, which hopefully we can.
Yeah.
So that's in principle.
Yeah. That's the context of marriage.
Yes.
And
marriage,
divorce.
there shouldn't be divorce, except the only qualification given is if there is sexual
immorality. Reverend Kama will come back to you, because now we have people separating because they're being battered, and you're telling them, basically you're telling them, stay in there.
Yes.
Unless we will come back to stay in there.
Yes.
Kufatu lakini weka tu hapo. It's not allowed. When it comes to the psychology of this thing, how messed up is it? Because I'm sure someone who's going through this sometimes even comes off as crazy because they didn't probably see it coming, or they saw it coming but they're still in denial. Denial is the biggest factor. So how do you handle?
First of all, I would also like to appreciate what Reverend had said, that there are marriages that are doing quite well. And there are good role models of marriages out there. However, coming to your question, I would like to say that when we talk of divorce, it is not something that, or separation or that disagreement is not something that just comes suddenly. It is something that you find you've carried over for some time. And I'm sure, you know, when you are getting into marriage, you see, we all come in, with intentions of being happy, fulfilling the commandments and all that. So, you know, you're looking for a mate. You're looking for someone who that is actually it is innate in us to look for someone who can complement us and have a good life. So when we come in and we find out that things are not working as we wished them to work out, and for example, we never followed the right track, we never took the right time, we never had a time even to get
We
away
didn't court enough.
Yes, we never courted enough, even to get in touch with ourselves. Because when you are not in touch with yourself, definitely you cannot be able to have a healthy relationship. That's where we talk about the intra and the interrelationships. So if you cannot get in touch and have a healthy relationship with yourself, definitely you can never be able to relate with other people. You can never be able to have a healthy relationship.
So you have to do you first.
Yes,
Deal
yes,
with
it
yourself.
starts
Because
with
I've
your
had
issues, yes.
people say, love yourself first. Don't look for happiness or love from the other person.
And it goes beyond loving, because when we talk of about self-awareness, it is knowing who you are, knowing your weaknesses, knowing your strengths, and because these are person who is coming in to complement you. Unless you know your limitations, you know your strengths, you know how much you are capable of handling, then the other person who will be coming in will not be coming to serve the right purpose.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why you have all these problems.
Yes.
Pastor Susan, when it comes to like dating, first of all, probably I think one of the problems is people are rushing to walk in, walk out for various reasons. How long should someone court?
Wow.
Because these days it's really crazy. It's let's do other things I will not mention first, and then now I get to by the way, it's real, right? It's like, or you don't even know who that person was. I don't kumbuki jina. You don't even have their number. So how long, or what should be the process first of all? So you meet this person, you like them, then what?
Wow, I really wouldn't answer how long.
Yeah.
There is no like, you know.
Yeah, that's what I've changed to. So you
exactly.
meet this person, you like them, then what?
What I would say is, because you see, even like in the Bible, when Abraham sent the servant to get a wife for Isaac, and met Rebecca, it was a story. She's gone to the well. Oh, she pointed. This is the one. Whatever he was looking for was in this lady. Slept overnight. The following day she went and became Isaac's wife. You know.
Yeah.
So we can't really
So
say
time
a day.
is not even. Yeah.
No, and actually I don't think even dating was there to know this person for 5 years, because you can't generally know entirely what somebody is about, even if you're with them for 10 years.
Yeah.
What I would say is when two people meet, number one, do you have accountability? Is there somebody else who probably is working with you, who can guide you, people who've gone ahead of you, who will guide you?
Let's also remember, while we're discussing this, because we're tending to lean more on the people who are faith-based, we are also encompassing everyone. So when you're giving your opinion, also try and encompass them.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yes, so I would say if it's faith-based or
Otherwise.
Yeah. Because see, when it's faith-based, it's easy. I think that's what now my life has been right now. Because even me currently, as I'm in this season, if anyone approaches me, I have a channel. Yes. Because I have seen the mistakes I made in the past. So the best I can do right now is to focus on doing things right. So when people have met, probably it's in college or you've just joined work and there's this person who is asking you out, number one, because probably by then you may not know your purpose, because purpose is one thing that brings people together. But even not considering purpose, get somebody who can walk with you, either Christian, your Christian family,
your role model,
a role model, somebody you look up to. Because as I said, marriage is beautiful. Even myself, Susan, I believe in marriage 100%, and I believe marriage works. But the foundation is what really matters. So when two people come together, instead of rushing, time is coming, I'm 35, nobody has said hi. No, if you look at it from that element. Or
even the older generations who say, you're probably over 30, let's say you're 32, he's 30. We know what we want, let's do this. Let's do this, also that.
Yes, you fail to understand this person is not your relative.
Okay.
Yes, you're totally different.
You need to know them.
So you need to know them, of course, also in prayer. I believe, as they both said, marriage was instituted by God. So if I am looking forward into getting into this institution, contact the author. Yes, pray about it. There's somebody, however much your level of faith is, there's that instinct.
How
You know,
about
we
a
say-
non-believer? Because we're tending to lean more on, let's
For a
also
non-believer.
consider this, yes.
For a non-believer, they also have probably a role model they look up to. I may not know how to pray.
Yeah.
That's why I said I may not know how to pray. Probably I don't even know what purpose is about. I don't.
what-
are
yeah,
we in
like they're
purpose
like,
or
what
not? I
are they
don't-
saying?
Yes, what is
Yeah.
that? But is there somebody who you admire, who is doing marriage?
An uncle, an
Uncle, an auntie,
a
you
grandfather
know,
who's had
yeah,
the longest
or even
marriage.
a colleague who went ahead of you and
Yeah.
they're doing marriage right. Walk with them, let them know I have met this guy and you know he's interested. You know, like what should I do? What should I consider? Because what happens when two people meet, even today, however whether young, old, Christian or otherwise, you in love. There's something about love that can cloud what you should see.
You can't
So there
think
should be a
straight, yeah.
neutral person
Yeah.
outside the both of you
Yeah.
who may be able to see the part you're not seeing.
Yeah.
So I would be keen to probably advise them to get somebody to work with you.
Karani,
Yes.
when people, couples are coming to you for counseling, what are some of, how does the abuse manifest? I know there's psychological,
Yes, yes.
there's, si lazima mtu awe akikutuanga kila siku.
Sure,
And
yes.
especially the one I think, in my layman, the worst
Yes.
form of abuse is psychological.
It is
Have you had
psychological.
that, and how do you help them deal with it?
Yes, it is a lot. It is happening, and I'm
And also
happy.
probably describe
Sure.
what we're saying, because someone out there is thinking,
Yeah.
what are they saying? So start with what is psychological abuse?
Yes, yes.
And then the kind of cases you've got. I'm not saying discuss your clients, but
they're
just
amazing.
paint a picture. Don't give us names. Paint a picture and then how someone can deal with it.
Okay, I would like to start by saying I like the way you've put it in terms of abuse, because you know at times when people come out to seek help, like looking for their friends, looking for their uncles, like the pastor is saying,
Yeah, yeah.
at times you go and they ask you, na anakuchapa?
To them, that's kama kuchapi weka tu hapo, pray about it.
Yes.
God will work out something.
Yeah, but abuse is more
Or
than that.
even ask you, was this marriage done at the altar? Hey, you're covered. You're covered. This was zingine si abuse.
Yeah,
Yes.
is it a holy marriage? Is it complete?
Yes,
Or
yes,
do you have a ring?
Yeah.
And
A certificate, yeah.
a certificate.
Yeah.
So abuse is more than the physical.
Yes.
And what we witness most is that psychological abuse, where a person is really playing around and messing around with your emotions and with your feelings. And what I like telling people is that if you're in a relationship whereby someone is taking advantage of you, someone is abusing you, you know, these are people who are mentally ill. Actually, you know, at times we start by thinking, but because this person is abusing me, I'm the one who is the problem. But I like saying that that person who is abusing the other is the one who needs help. And because there is a cycle that we have of
That is so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
there is a cycle we have of abuse.
Yes.
Whereby unless you know at what stage you are in that cycle, you will never know what is actually happening to your life.
Yeah.
Because the abusers have some tactics
Yes,
that
that they
they use to play around with you. You even doubt
And then here someone is telling you, but see, marriage zinakuwaga tu hivyo.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be fighting all the time.
Exactly.
So the abuser is using tactics.
They're using tactics because if I may take you through the abuse cycle in a nutshell,
Yeah.
when an abuse takes place, the abuser gets into another stage whereby they take you to a level, I would like to call it honeymoon. You know, the abuse has taken and then we go to honeymoon, whereby now these people will apologize. If it was infidelity,
Take you out to dinner,
yeah, I will
nini.
take you out.
Yeah.
I'll actually, from today, I'll start going to church. I'll get saved. And
He's bringing flowers in here. He has never done
amazing,
that
yes,
the last 10 years. Yeah.
yeah, they buy you gifts, they take you out, and
Yeah.
and the others who will even blame other people.
Yeah.
They will blame, if it were not for your aunt, if it were not for your friends, I would not have done this. Actually, they even blame Pombe, you know,
Yeah.
because I was
Even
drunk.
the
That's why I
devil.
did.
Even the devil, yes, even the
And the
devil.
devil, yes.
Lakini shetani.
Kabisa. And then, you know, at that stage you are confused because, for example, you are from a stage where you've been
Because
beaten.
like she
you've
said,
been,
you're in love, so you're clouded.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
And you know, they are playing with your mind, and you start even doubting, how you are seeing things. That's why you hear people going out and telling people,
Ama ni mimi.
ni mimi, my husband is not bad. Ni mimi ukasirisha.
Mimi ukasirika haraka.
I'm the one who provokes him. My husband ukasirika haraka.
Or even those people who ask you, ulimfanyia nini?
Exactly.
And you're here asking for help.
And that is the problem, because you find when even these people, when they come to us, we start by asking, what did you do? Why did he do that?
Yeah, because he's not a mad person. So as kuja tu akishout, what did you do? Viewers, remember, you can be a part of this conversation via at TV47 KE Twitter handle or at Angie Wangeshi, and also there is a phone line number on the bottom right of your screen. Feel free to call us and interact with us. We'll take in your questions. Any one of the panelists can indulge you and also help you out. Anyone, is there a hotline for such things? Let's first start with that. Ile mtu ameshikika kabisa, you'll tell us. Utafikiria wewe unazijua. In case they are thinking probably I want to talk to Zairu or whoever in the panel, but they know me. So how can someone get help anonymously? Yeah, continue, and then now we'll take a short break.
After now we've had the abuse has taken place, then we go to the honeymoon stage, where this person is really playing with your mind and making you think that this thing will not happen again. It is your fault. After that, we go to the normal stage where now tension starts building. Blame game comes back. People are getting hungry very fast.
All of a sudden, the food is excessively salty, but everyone else has eaten it.
So
and the same thing.
Yeah, you do the same thing. Yet you're the one who's not giving me money for the food. Gosh.
The money that was enough to take you out for date is no longer available, and you see now that is now where you see a red flag.
Okay.
And what that tells you is that the next stage, the abuse is about to take place, and I can't say how long the cycle is, because I was dealing with a certain client who was telling me, I know after every 3 years my husband will beat me up. And it is a cycle that you find there are people, their cycle might run a week, monthly, and all that. But what is important is to know when this cycle is running, what stage you are in, and also get to understand whatever and what is actually happening in your relationship. Because you might end up being blamed for things that you are not entitled to be blamed. Yes.
Thyro, coming over to you.
Yes.
Because that's what you're more familiar with, the church concept.
Yes.
So you have someone probably even in leadership going through this, and they can't do anything about it because people have a perception about them. Like, sasa kama pasi yako hivi, you know, so they don't even know where to get help, or they suppress it because someone might think otherwise they might lose a lot and such things, and people expect them generally to be perfect. So this psychological trauma for them, have you handled such cases, and how can someone deal with it?
Yeah, these things happen even in church. And I think the greatest challenge with regard to divorce is not the fact that we don't know divorce is bad. We all know it's bad, and I think that is what gives us stress.
Because you know you're not supposed to get out of
it. We know, and we know what the scripture says.
Sentence.
Yeah. We know all these things. What I think challenges many people is first the psychological turmoil, as they have rightly put it, and two is the chaos that comes with that divorce and separation. Suddenly, you are coming to church with your wife, with your husband, and you are the perfect couple, and then suddenly everything has crumbled.
You are even the best couple for 20 other people.
For 20 other people.
Yeah.
So how do I deal with that? And particularly if you're in church or in any organization.
Or even in just a position where it's prominent.
In the society.
Yes.
Suddenly you have lost that image of a married man, married woman.
Yes.
I think that is the greatest challenge for people. The fact that now you're separating. First, you seem like a failure.
Yes.
You seem like a failure. You seem like you haven't done your part. You even question, Pastor said, she questioned God. You even start questioning God, yet you are the same person the previous Sundays.
Yes.
You are praying and speaking in tongues and casting demons.
I tell you. Yes.
Now, at a month later, you're even wondering, is God, where is God? So for me, in what I have seen in church is people facing doubts whether they are really worth. They have issues with their esteem. And by the way, the stigma that comes with that separation. Those are my greatest worries. Whether the divorce or not.
We have a very urgent call from Wanjiro from Nyeri.
Yes.
Let's take it and listen in. Wanjiro, how are you? Hello, Wanjiro, how are you? Yes, talk to us. Hello, nakusikia, endelea. Haya Wanjiro, tumekusikia. Asante sana kwa maoni yako. Haya. Yes, you were saying continue, we'll pick it up.
I'm saying first is the stress the individual person goes through. And the second part is the stigma from other people.
Especially that one.
Yes.
Because people are like, I can deal with my own things, but what will be, what utambia nini watu?
Utambia nini watu?
Yeah.
Particularly if you had started rising in the social ladder.
Yes.
You know, when you're still at the bottom of the social ladder, I mean, your losses are few.
Yeah.
But now umeanza kuheshimika katika the society.
So visible.
You have become visible in the society.
Yeah.
So what? So the stigma that is associated with that is what we need, is the second thing we need to address. And I wish to remind people, particularly those who go to church and to any other place, never be afraid of going to church because you're divorced. Because the church is a gathering of sinners, not saints.
It's a hospital.
It's a hospital for mad men and women who all are coming to, who are looking for healing.
Because someone feels I'm not worthy to even step into the...
Yeah. I mean, the least of the lists. Christ dealt with the least of the least and the best of the best.
Yeah.
So if you're not in the category of the best of the best...
So it is okay for someone who's divorced or separated to go to church.
Exactly. And actually, I would encourage them to run to church as opposed to the pub.
Yeah. But there's still a lot of stigma surrounding that. As much as you're saying that it's allowed. When they get there, trust me, they're the most traumatized people. And also I know about some church organizations, I don't know how to call them, assemblies, that one, who don't allow divorcees or separated, or even single people
moms,
to be, especially single moms, to be employed. So how are you helping? If you're the church and you're throwing stones at such groups, how are you helping? So that's the question that we're going on a break for. When we come back, we tackle that, and then also Wanjiro's question. Don't go away. Keep giving us your feedback. The number is on your bottom right of the screen. You can tweet us via TV47KE and at Angie Wengeshi. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Mimi nilizaliwa miaka kama 40 iliyopita hapa kwetu Nyadhuna. Nilisomea saikolojia na kwa hivyo nikafanya kitu inaitwa psychology counseling. Wakati nilikuwa naenda kujitambulisha kwa akina mama na wazee, nilikuwa nawaambia mimi ni counselor. Lakini wao wakachukulia si ya professional, wakafikiria ni ya siasa, sasa wakaanza kuniita counselor. Sana sana mimi napendaga hizi nyimbo za worship na country. Wakati niko na stress, tumezaliwa tukiwa 4, wasichana 2 na kwa vijana wawili. Mimi kitenda mimba, ni mimi wa mwisho. Ile ingine ni kuangalia kama kuku wamekula vizuri, niko na kuku wengi. Niko na nguruwe, naangalia kama wamefeed vizuri, niko na ng'ombe. Saa ingine wakati hatuna msaidizi unakamua, unafanya zile kazi za kinyumbani. Mimi nilizaliwa miaka kama 40 iliyopita hapa kwetu Nyadhuna. Nilisomea saikolojia na kwa hivyo nikafanya kitu inaitwa psychology counseling. Wakati nilikuwa naenda kujitambulisha kwa akina mama na wazee, nilikuwa nawaambia mimi ni counselor. Lakini wao wakachukulia si ya professional, wakafikiria ni ya siasa, sasa wakaanza kuniita counselor. Sana sana mimi napendaga hizi nyimbo za worship na country. Wakati niko na stress, tumezaliwa tukiwa 4, wasichana 2 na kwa vijana 2. Mimi kitenda mimba, ni mimi wa mwisho. Ile ingine ni kuangalia kama kuku wamekula vizuri, niko na kuku wengi. Niko na nguruwe, naangalia kama wamefeed vizuri, niko na ng'ombe. Saa ingine wakati hatuna msaidizi unakamua, unafanya zile kazi za kinyumbani.
Akipiga hatua tutapiga, akivuka bonde basi nasi tutavuka. Hii ni Mboni ya TV47. Hatuchoki, tutakesha, tutarauka.
Welcome back this Thursday. Engage is talking about separation and divorce and what happens next. We've had a very interesting discussion just right before we went for the break, where we're talking about the role of the church in divorcees' lives or single people, single parents. to be specific, the communication factor, and we are putting Reverend Kamau Tairo on the spot. Utajitetea ukiwa pande gani? Unfortunately, you're representing the church today.
Nikiwa hapa.
Yeah, because utajitetea ukiwa hapo.
Nikiwa hapa
Because is this, let's be real.
Yes.
If I am a single mom or a divorcee and their job's up for grabs at church, and you're telling me I can't qualify because I'm recently divorced or I'm a single mom, I expect you as a church to come through for me.
Yes.
Because I need you then most. Because most people, honestly, whether you're a believer or not, you run to some power. You pray. You know, you're like,
yes, yes.
Aki this idea to get me out of this. So whoever you're praying to, you pray still. So like if you're from the church's aspect, what is going on? Because this is real.
Yes.
It happens. And you're saying at the church, if you're a divorcee, the church allows you to go and fellowship. But why would I go to a place where people are throwing stones at me? Because that's how probably it feels. Yeah.
Now,
do you need water? Do you need kuna chai?
I think I need a glass of cold water. But
Cold
anyhow,
water. Yeah.
but anyhow,
Yes.
for any organization to thrive, since the inception of men and the inception of the world, there has to be discipline and order.
Okay.
And when we say that even though people are divorced, you're allowed to fellowship, when the church again advises that you need to be slow in taking some positions and some responsibilities, there's no contradiction whatsoever. In the corporate world, there's what they call organizational culture. That every organization has a culture that it perceives will help that organization achieve its goals and fulfill its mandate. And if you do not meet that organizational culture, there are, first, when you're employed, you're told this is the minimum expectation. If you agree to take up that job, then thereafter you do not meet those requirements, they will ask you either please walk out, or
Because you haven't delivered.
Yeah, you haven't delivered, or can we refer you to human resource for support, or how can we help you? In similar fashion, when the church demands minimum standards, it is not contradicting itself. The only unfortunate thing is how we deliver, how you're supposed to meet those minimum standards. And when we ask you, please for a moment, can you just take a moment and pause? The worst thing in the church that you can do is a hurt person to minister to hurt people. Because you will end up hurting more as
Yeah.
opposed to helping.
You'll end up, if you're bleeding, you'll bleed on
Yeah, you will
everyone
lead
else.
other people to bleed.
Yeah.
So when people are asked, please just step aside, it is not to throw you away or push you to a corner. It is just to allow you to have some time for reflection. That is the ideal case. However, I acknowledge sometimes the way the agents of the church do it is very violent, especially in cases where I had a grudge with you, because we are still human. Then your marriage fails, and I need to settle scores with you.
Yes.
Then I'll push you to the wall and make sure the whole world, and even invite people to come see you fall. That's the wrong one.
Matuta manenos, I've
yeah,
not mentioned anyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
in the best case scenario, if that happens, a hurt person cannot lead a hurt person. You need to step back and reflect, regroup, and come back. Where I serve, I can tell you, in the event of such a case that happens, we will invite you and sit together for pastoral.
Yes.
We call it pastoral.
Okay.
And we will walk you through. Unfortunately, because you're hurting, and probably we have not spoken as you would have expected. We are human beings, we are very imperfect. We have not spoken as you had anticipated.
Yes.
You will live in anger, and that's okay. This time of separation and divorce, you'll be angry, you will feel bad about people, you will hate people, that's okay. That's okay. The problem is, after the whole process, are you willing to come back? And I can tell you There are people who have dealt with their own issues of separation and divorce,
Yes.
and they have come back and served,
Yeah.
and served brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a testimony of that.
Yeah, yeah, and is even better placed to help someone because she knows where the shoe pinches.
Yeah, where the shoe pinches.
Yeah.
Maybe just one more thing.
Okay.
The challenge with the current generation of Christians, or people generally,
Yes.
not to bracket, is that we want organizations, and church for that matter, to keep bending backwards
Okay.
for us, in this sense, to lower the standards so that we can get through, and that we will not be helping you.
Okay.
The standard has to be maintained, the discipline has to be maintained, so that in your effort to improve, to meet that standard, you as well improve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Karani, coming to you, umenyamaza sana. How best can one deal with this? Remember, before we went for the break,
Yes.
you were talking about psychological abuse. Then kuna ile umetwangwa, kuna evidence. What other types are there, and then how can one deal with it?
Okay, apart from now kutwangwa, there is the other one that is more prevalent. That is the physical, the psychological, the one I was talking about, where a person is really messing you up psychologically, playing with your mind, and this person turns you into a puppet. Plays around with you, they go and do whatever they want to do. They insult you directly, they tell you words that are demeaning, they make
Yeah,
you
the
feel
verbal abuse.
Yes, they make you feel like you are unworthy and all that. So the first thing, and appreciating whatever Reverend is saying, that institutions, it is okay for institutions to put their standards. However, my issue with some of these institutions is they are not proactive. Because, for example, if you are in an organization where someone is suffering, someone is going through turmoil, you know, that would be the best time to capture and to deal with the issue. But the problem is that, like now, you see at our workplaces, everybody's minding their business. If you are sent to the human resource, she will just tell you what I want.
I just want results.
I want results.
Yeah, I don't
yes.
care what you're going through. Yeah.
But wherever you are coming from, you spent the night outside. You were battered last night. Someone is really, like a case I was having of a lady who she had reported to work. And when she reported, she had a swollen eye, she had slept outside, but the supervisors wanted her to deliver as normal. They wanted her to just sit there and do the work as expected.
Yes.
Whereas this person was really hurting. So my challenge is to the organizations and our workplaces and church. The first thing is to be proactive.
Yes.
Know whatever is happening to your people. These people that you are shepherding know exactly what they are going through.
Yes.
And then that way, you know, people will even have that trust.
Even in the workplace?
Even in the workplace.
Yes.
People, I know
So
even
the HR is supposed to go a step further and
Yes.
try and find out why.
Yes, exactly. If a person who has been quite good in their work, they are from nowhere.
But all of a sudden,
yeah, coming late, they're not performing as we expected. Try and find
They're
out. Is
cranky with their colleagues.
Yes.
And say, hi, good morning. Don't tell me how to have my morning. Yeah.
What is so good about this morning?
Yeah,
And,
what is,
even the way they are dressed, the way they are groomed, you realize these people, something is normal.
Yeah.
And, you know, if we are not able to, because we are a very selfish generation, whereby even your neighbor would be undergoing something that is quite serious, but you don't care, you don't mind, you're minding your own business. So I think the first thing would be to encourage everybody to know whatever is going through. We be our brother's keeper. Yes, we be our brother's keeper. Then now I throw now the ball to the person who is undergoing the abuse, who we call the victim.
Yes.
It is important to know your value first of all. Know your value. Don't let anybody demean you. Don't let anybody take your existence for granted. Don't let anybody make you feel like you are a lesser human being. And with that value, I'm not saying you be arrogant, but know who you are. Know your value. Nobody came to this world to be a slave of another person. So the moment you know that and you know your value and you know your aspirations in life, you'll even be able to speak up to
Yes.
tell your partner, the way things are running in this family, in this in our relationship, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I'm not pleased. I don't like the way I'm being treated here. You know, having a voice.
Okay.
Yes.
Susan, very quickly, all of us actually, very quickly, talk to me about where we handle the kids of separated or, you know, like, so we are doing our things, yeah? You and I don't get along. We enda kivyako, mimi niende kivyangu. How about the kids?
Wow. For me, and I would say that is a challenge most women go through, but I believe children should never, at any one point, be caught up in whatever is going on, because it is between me and you. But what happens, we also need to be realistic. I have lost my marriage, or I'm just freshly separated. I myself as a mom, I am hurting as well.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to hear from these children, these little innocent human beings,
I know.
is where is daddy?
Yeah.
When is daddy coming back?
Oh,
Hey,
when
that thing
can
makes
he
you
buy
spark.
us this or that? Yeah.
Yes. But what I personally, my experience, of course, when I do want to hear that question, but to the glory of God, after the separation for me, my partner went out of town.
Okay.
It was very easy to say dad went out of town.
Yeah.
So out of town went until I healed. Now I'm able to handle this
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
So the next season of my life, at least my son is 10 now. So by that time he was, say, 7, 8. So I could be able to tell him now, dad is not coming back again. And why he's not coming back is because sometimes in life you may make decisions that God does not approve of. So it is for us to allow God to, and God can disorganize our lives if it is not in his plan. So we allow God to arrange us again the way he desires. But what happens with the children, and many people don't, especially in the cases of abuse, sometimes women say, I cannot go anywhere for the sake of my children. But what you miss out is that these little human beings are seeing, they have mental pictures. They saw mommy being hit, and so they grow seeing, like when you're raising sons, they might think that's the way women are treated.
Reverend Thairo, umefikiria sana. Share your thoughts. You're like,
I'm listening.
it's okay. Feel free to interject. He's like, huh?
It's a delicate place
Are you
to
okay
be.
with what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes.
He's like,
No,
I'm
they-
like,
they raised-
yes,
she
just
raised
say it.
something.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to recall a study that was done in the US.
Yes.
And it's recorded in the book of a prominent marriage therapist called Dr. Gary Chapman. I forget the title of the book, but it is not his famous book,
Yeah.
The 5 Love Languages.
Languages.
It's not in that book. I can't remember. It's a black book with, it's a book with a black cover.
It's good you mentioned that
Yes.
because it's still in my questions.
Yes.
The love languages.
Yes.
Because some say, iyo kukuchapa ni kukupenda. What do you mean?
So
Yes,
in
yeah.
that study, in that book, he quotes a study that was done in the US over 10 years. And the findings of that study were that children out of the marriage, out of children of divorced parents,
Yes.
up to 60%, when they eventually marry, their marriages break, up to 60%. So the issue of children in the divorce process is very critical because you can pass on. You can pass on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they are not insulated from this process. The emotions, the ups and downs. Because in most cases, what many parents do, so that you can have the majority, kuna wengine wanaingia tangatanga, you divide the house into tangatanga and kieleweke. So you want to pull your, you want to have as many votes
Yeah.
on your
But
side.
even the kids play a very big role. They're like, tukienda kwa daddy, you tubaia. Tukienda kwa
Yeah,
they're
this is
still
it. This,
they're
hii
still
tukienda kwa
fueling the
babi,
fire.
Yeah.
hii tukienda
Tukienda
kwa
kwa
daddy
yeah.
is about pulling your votes because you want to beat the other at their own game.
You have your stronghold.
Yeah, strong. Yes, that's what I was looking for. You want to build your stronghold.
Yes.
So, the issue of children, I would plead with people who are going through marital challenges. Please insulate your children.
Yes.
Protect.
If you care about their future. And what I have
And
realized...
what are some of these things someone can do? Because when you're saying insulate your children, so as much as you're not fighting in front of them, they'll still pick it up.
Yeah, they'll pick
so
it
how
up.
how are we?
But I would rather they pick it up on themselves than me telling them.
Oh, okay. Or even those, you'll tell us, even those who kufisha the dad.
Yeah.
Alikufanga, then you meet
Oh,
them
that
in
is
town.
so
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's-
is so wrong.
it's
And
wrong.
also sometimes, especially when somebody is hurting, if you're not careful, you'll poison the children.
Yes.
So it's good to tell them age-appropriate truths.
Okay.
Yes, and wherever, even if the dad was violent, do not allow them. Let them find out on their own, as he's
It's
saying.
their dad.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the- at the end of
it's
the
the
day,
blood
their
that
dad.
runs in their system is that man, whether he
can't
was
deny it.
unfaithful or the way. So don't poison the children. The way he's talking about insulating, cover them as much as you can. If they pick it up, maybe there's nothing
That's
much
okay.
you can do about that.
The-
But
the-
don't
the
poison.
worst thing,
Yeah.
just to ride on what she says, is these children grow up and realize you told them a lie.
Yeah, you lied.
They will hate
They will
you for
hate
it.
you for it.
They will hate you for it.
Pastor Susan, you mentioned that, so for example, children of single parents or probably divorcees are because, like you were explaining the church context, it's because God did not approve that. There's something in
I
this
said, like,
letter.
no, in my case, that's
Yeah.
the way I brought it up to my
Okay.
son.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how about,
Yes.
tell us, Karani,
Yes.
how about someone who's in a new marriage? Probably they got in it for their own 1 to 3 reasons. But then now, like a month down the line, they discover, wait, this is not what I wanted. What happens? Because those are the majority of the cases we have these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of
Then you hear now the relatives complain, na kina vile tulitumia pesa nyingi, tulikodisha mabasi tukaenda Nairobi, hata wajakaa. Yes.
I like telling young people, as long as their motivation is wrong, as long as
It will never work.
It will never work. As long as you are going into a marriage because of, people have different reasons. You want someone to assist you pay your house rent. you feel you have a baggage that you want someone to help you. And nobody will ever deal with your baggage unless you deal with it yourself. Yeah,
Or you
and
think you have too much money.
yes, yeah.
Ati niko na kila kitu, imebaki nini sasa bibi?
Ni baby.
Yeah.
Until your reasons for getting into marriage are right, definitely things will never
And
work
what
out.
is the right reason?
Uh,
Yeah, what is the right
yes,
reason?
the first reason,
Yeah.
we confuse love and marriage. People talk about I'm in love and they have known each other for 2 weeks and they are talking about being in love and because marriage is more of commitment.
Rachel did it in a day, bana. Ni nini nyinyi? 3 weeks is long. I'm still coming to your example. That was anachota maji twende.
Because things have really changed.
Okay.
We've come from, even traditionally you would have our uncles and everybody go investigate on
your behalf,
on
yes.
your behalf. How is their lineage, or what kind of a person he was, the grandfather. So they would have good reasons for you to get into a marriage.
Yes.
But nowadays, we do it ourselves. So I'm saying there is a difference when you are getting into marriage, because a marriage, people love each other. We have different people we love our parents, we love everybody, but marriage is more of a commitment. And unless you get a person who has the same aspirations, the same world view as you, definitely you'll have issues. You'll have struggles with your marriage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reverend, your
Yes,
take
yes.
on that?
No, you see, just to emphasize, he defined love as commitment.
Yes.
I wish to refer you to Stephen Covey. In his book, First Things First. He gives an episode where once the CEOs of top 500 companies in the US were gathered for some refreshment, for some seminar. And one of the sections was about marriage. So he talks, and it comes to a place of question and answers. And one of the answers that was submitted to him anonymously was by one of the CEOs, and he was saying, Stephen Covey, please, my marriage is about to break. And why my marriage is about to break is because I don't love my wife anymore. Please tell me how I can love my wife. Help me. So Stephen Covey stands and says, whoever asked this question, please hear me out. You're asking me to tell you how to love, and here is your answer. Go home and love your wife.
Yeah.
And after some few other comments, the CEO stands, eventually in anger and protests and tells Stephen Covey, you are not helping me. I asked you to tell me
How to
and teach me how to love my wife. And Stephen Covey responds and says, I told you, go home and love your wife. And then he pauses as he tells the story. And then he says, he goes on and told the CEO, I know you do not understand me, because your own perception and definition of love is this feeling where you feel kizunguzungu English like that. Nasikia kama umebebwa juu. That's not what love is.
Yeah.
Love is an action.
Are you for real? But that's how they say. I mean, this is what they say. The buzz makes you know, that's what you're saying, kizungu, English mingi, is what makes you know that this is the person.
Yeah, initially, you will get those butterflies.
Yeah.
All of us who are in love will we relate. First got butterflies.
Oh, you are? Congratulations. He's
I'm
just,
married.
he's just confessed, yeah.
You got that feeling, you even couldn't think straight. Going for 2 days without eating because you're so full.
Awogi.
Thank you
Yeah.
for making a confession
Yeah,
as well.
I know, you have not said I. Okay,
So,
yeah.
so love is an action.
Okay.
In this sense, that even when you're at your most stupid, I'll still love you. That is what love is. You're messed up, your hair is not right, with no makeup, you're walking, miguu inapigana pigana vile umechoka, you can't fix food, you don't have money.
Or when we met, you were walking on your 2 feet, now you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
I'm
now you're
still
in a
there.
wheelchair. That's what love is. It's an action. Love without action is dead. Just as faith without action is dead.
Yeah.
So love, one, is commitment.
Yes.
2 is an action. I can't keep telling you that I love you, yet the actions are not
It's contrary
commensurate.
to what you're saying.
They're not commensurate.
Beatrice from Wangishu, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, talk to us.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead with your question, Beatrice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Tafadhali punguza sauti ya television yako.
I've
Reduce.
already put it off.
Okay, go ahead, Beatrice, with the question.
Okay, I'm speaking to Auntie.
Yes,
Hello. Thank you for the topic that you are sharing.
you're welcome. Go ahead.
I'm asking for on my behalf and on behalf of others.
Yes.
Having known probably that someone got married to someone whom you don't share similar aspirations in marriage, but you still love them and you don't want to separate them and the like. You want the marriage to work. How would you
Yeah.
go about it?
Okay. Thank you very much, Beatrice, for your question. Who would want to tackle that? You have more questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who's
You
going to
can-
handle it? Yeah.
The question, please put it across.
If you're in a marriage with someone and things are not going as expected and you really want to make it work, you don't want to leave basically, how do you go about it?
Maybe
Probably what she would have told us is exactly what she's going through, so that,
Yeah.
but just on a general aspect.
But I think also sometimes people look at separation like it's a final. It's not the last. It's not the full stop. Actually, most times, whether it's violence or whatever, separation comes as it gives you a space to think things through. And even before you get to divorce, there's still an area, there's space for counseling. You know, the way they were saying, ask for help. So probably she says, you're married, and once you're already in it, you realize
This is not working,
It's
but
not
she really
working.
wants to make it work.
To make it
What
work.
can she do?
the fact that she has come out is, number one, a very good thing, because that is stepping out to look for help.
Yes.
Ask for help. This is from wherever probably whoever their mentors are, if they're in church, whoever their pastors are, because for her, she already has her end in mind. I want to make this work.
Yes.
So I have realized 1, 2, 3 is not working. She's at a very good place. Step out and look for help. Yes, because
So
the
you're
layout
encouraging her to take time out, basically, like not work out. That's a bad
not
word.
work out.
Just,
The fact
yeah.
that she has noted 1, 2, 3 things are not working, and she needs to make it work. She needs not by stepping. I'm not saying, I don't say she leaves.
Like
I'm
physically
saying
move
not
out
not
of her.
living
Oh, okay.
physically.
Time
I mean,
out.
Yeah,
But
maybe
how can
time
she
out,
have
or
time out
even
and she's
not even if she's not living,
Yeah.
like if she can have a discussion with the spouse, this and this and this is not
not
working,
working.
then both of them probably go seek help. You will find there are people who don't want. Unfortunately, sometimes men don't want to get help. It's true.
You know
how
Men
to
and
fix
their ego.
everything.
not
Yes,
even that.
and it is wrong.
It's not that they I'm wambiliki. Like you can't be told because you're like, now why are you telling me and I'm the one
Or
can
by the time
analyze
I
world
step
politics.
out, it's like they
Za
feel like
nyumbani
we're
ndio
exposing.
if I can
Like
analyze
we're
world
exposing.
politics, I can't
See.
handle a marriage.
Can you imagine? So they say like we're exposing us. We
Yeah.
have a problem, you're exposing us. But she's at a very good place because if the spouse would agree, they can go and look for help. Either seek counseling, physical counselors or their pastors, seek help because 1, 2, 3 things are not working. So that's one thing. The other thing is once they have talked themselves, if probably he does not agree, she can also in wisdom. Because you see, even if I could go back to what we were saying about stigma, the first thing women are told that even you're quoted for scripture. Proverb says, a wise woman builds her home, you know. But before a woman packs her bags to leave, by the way, achana na yeye, amefika mwisho. Any responsible
Majaribu.
woman, yes.
Harani, what's your take on that? What can Beatrice do first of all?
Okay, giving my input, first of all, you know, it is important that Beatrice has realized things are not working.
yes.
So, you know, that's where it starts. You putting your hands on the real issue, that there is no what is not working for us.
Beatrice
And,
is saying
yes.
we didn't get her right. So
Yes.
let's try and get her. Beatrice, yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
My question was on where you find that you're already married,
Yes.
but the aspirations
Yes,
are
I
not
heard
the
that
same.
Okay.
They are not in the same line.
Okay.
And you still want the marriage to work.
Okay. Thank you, Beatrice.
Yeah.
Thyro will handle that. Aspirations.
Yeah.
Was
I
her.
thought I had.
Yeah, as in, you see the common goal that brings people together,
Yes.
the desires and the very many things you want to do together as a couple. How would one go about it and try to synchronize and bring the things together to make it work?
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Maybe I can follow up. Have they talked it out?
Beatrice, can you hear it?
Okay, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Her question is, we are a couple and our aspirations are different. Let's first operate on some assumptions that one, they have not talked out. That's one.
Yes.
And that's the major assumption here.
Yes.
They have not sat together and talked out. One of the things we have to admit is that at different times of the existence of the marriage, each member of the marriage, each person in the marriage will at some point have different aspirations. I want us to build a house. She wants the car.
Yes.
She wants to do her hair. I want us to get a new set of clothes. It's something that occurs throughout the marriage. The only challenge, which is where I think Beatrice is I want our life to go this, and he wants our life to go that. There's something as couples, there's something they must learn to negotiate. To negotiate.
Yes.
We must always learn to give room and to give in. And until and unless that happens, then there will always be differences.
Yes.
Because if there are different aspirations, then that means I want X done, done in Y method. He wants done A done in B method in C timeline. I want in W timeline. That means those are aspirations. Probably she wants to go back to school. He's afraid that if she goes back to school, she'll become headstrong.
Yeah.
That's a common perception in this particular case. So one, they have to sit together. Two, almost always, someone said, a guy called Richard Foster, in his book Spiritual Discipline, says that many times we do not refuse to agree to things because they're necessarily bad. but because of our own biases and fears. So if there are different aspirations, you have to take into consideration the fears and the biases of that particular person. So I would encourage her, first, she needs not to be worried, or the right word is to panic. She needs not to panic.
Okay.
That because it is a reality that often we will have different aspirations. Number two, because of the different aspirations, have they sat together and spoken? Three, if they indeed have spoken,
Just hold that thought, Thairu, sorry. Peter from Nakuru. Okay, we've lost Peter, but he'll come through in just a bit.
Yeah.
Yes,
the third
very
one
quickly, so that
the third thing Beatrice needs to consider, what are his fears and biases?
yes.
Yeah, because mostly people do not refuse things because they're bad, but because of their fears and biases. Yes, I think that's my take.
Okay. Karani, what can Beatrice do?
Okay, first of all, I would like to really say, like whatever Reverend is saying, a house divided can never stand. And one thing that people fail to understand is the importance of communication in marriage. As long as you people are not able to communicate and get to know each other aspirations quite well, you struggle. And when I'm talking about communication is whereby you have a serious discussion, a serious communication, and both verbal and non-verbal. You get them to listen to each other and know why is so and so saying 1, 2, 3. Why does she want to do 1, 2, 3? And going back to something that we were talking about, men not willing to look out for help. I believe, like people say, fish starts rotting from the head. So as long as the head is rotten, the body definitely will have a malfunction.
Yes.
So I encourage men to be willing to listen to their wives. They are human beings. They are complete in the way they are.
But what changes, Karani? Because, you know, I hear most people complaining, akiwe amekaliwa, because, just simply because you listen to the woman a lot. Even during courtship or dating, it was, hata akipiga ukiwa meeting, haraka sana. So what has changed?
And that is what I'm saying.
So allow me to interject. And someone said,
Yeah.
ukiona mwanaume amekaliwa, that house is peaceful.
Yeah, and
Because
you know,
at the end of the day, you've gone round, then now you do what she said in the first place.
because we cannot underestimate the giftings of ladies and how God has endowed them with different intellectual abilities. Okay, we might be strong in different ways.
But everyone's input is important.
Very important.
Hold that thought, Karani. Agnes from Mukuru kwa Njenga, how are you? Hello, Agnes?
Hello.
Yes.
How are you?
Mzuri sana. Una swali au maoni?
Swali.
Hello?
Ni swali.
Yes, uliza.
Nauliza. Yeah, I'm married, but my husband was rejected.
Sorry, rudia tafadhali. Your husband was?
Akiwa amekasirika, yeye huwa ni mhash, ni violence, atakuchapa, akutusi, then after hapo anakuambia I'm sorry, then he wants to sleep with you. Ndio ajue kama uko sawa ama bado umekasirika. So for me, I don't know vile kukaa unaweza mwa because tumekaa for long, like 7 years now.
So swali lako ni lipi haswa?
Yeah?
So swali lako ni lipi haswa? Nimeelewa vile unasema.
How can I handle it?
How can you handle such a husband?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, sawa. After hapo anaanza kublame others. Kama si huyu singefanya hivi. When I go to my mom, I call him so that we can talk. He says ni shetani.
Aya, Agnes, umeenda kwa wachungaji kanisani wakakusaidia ama hujasaidiwa na mtu yeyote?
Hujasaidiwa na mtu yeyote.
Aya, ambao tuko nao leo watakusaidia. Who wants to take that up? So it's the way you are saying the cycle of abuse.
Yes.
So he like beats her up
Yes.
and then wants to have makeup
Yeah.
intimacy
So,
to see ati kama ameacha kasirika.
And,
And for her, I think she's getting offended. And if I'm not wrong, I don't know if we should talk about this during this hours, but for a woman that is like, kwani amenibeba aje? Like, how do you expect me to function in this environment?
and I would like to start by saying, you know, we really tell ladies to submit, but so I say submission is not stupidity. Being submissive to a person doesn't mean that you don't have a brain to think. You don't have ability to reason on your own. So this calls her to be able to have a voice in that marriage. She needs to be able to speak out. And my challenge to men still,
Listen.
you listen to your ladies,
Listen to
listen to
her.
your wives. And you're not recognized by your ability to, okay, your strength is not seen when you beat up people and when you break
No,
cups in the
ukikohoa
house.
watu
And,
wanakimbia.
no, that's not how you're respected. People will fear you in the house, but you will not be respected. And that is why we are saying we are lacking role models
Yes.
in families as fathers, as father figures. Because if you're not able to listen, then that is a great weakness. So I would suggest she's Beatrice, she needs to look out
No,
for
this
help.
is Agnes.
Agnes. Yeah, Agnes needs to seek advice, and because the more she remains there, the more her identity is destroyed, the more her self-esteem is, and she'll find herself in that cycle where she, at some point, she will start blaming herself. Yes, and that way she will not be able to reason properly.
Susan, what's your...
Also, actually, the way he was saying, you start believing what you're hearing. You're useless. You're then after what happens when abuse is there? Once it starts, the way he's saying, that person has studied you.
And
They
have
know
you
once they
noticed
treat
also
you-
she has brought in something else? Apart from the psychological torture she's going through, there's physical abuse,
Physical
there's
abuse,
verbal abuse,
yes.
and sexual abuse.
Yes, because he has mastered her.
Yeah.
He knows which buttons to press when.
Yeah.
So as Karani is saying, it's upon her to like take it upon herself and speak out, voice out what you need to see. Because we're in this, she said they've been together for like 7 years. Because the more you stay, it comes to you, you are useless, you know, actually I deserve it. He hit me, actually I deserve it. And you do not. No one deserves to be beaten. And what happens is people, you will sit, then the way you are saying, even if you go, tell you, no, go back. Even your parents probably might tell you to go back. But there's one thing people need to know. The covenant of marriage is not more important than the covenant of life, which Jesus gave at Calvary. So no one should lose their life because you went back. Because actually when you go back, it becomes worse.
Yeah.
The more you tolerate it.
Reverend,
Yes.
do you have anything you can tell Agnes?
I think most of it has been said. But I think what she needs to remember is this, that marriages do not work because we ourselves alone have capacity.
Sure.
And that is why marriages in this generation are breaking, because we are too confident in ourselves. We do not allow others. The reason why our parents and our grandparents before us, their marriages stayed longer, is because of the social support from other people. My father has issues with my mother. He will go sit with other men and he tells other men, confidence, his age mates, by the way, mke wangu ananiletea kasheshe. How do I do it? And then the age mates, because they do not fear him, will tell him, either niwe uko na ujinga, ama mke wako, ndiye ana. So let Agnes first not feel as if she's a failure when she goes to seek out counsel from other people. And it doesn't have to be other people.
Yeah.
And she should not, she should not be afraid. Let me give you an instance from the scriptures. We all know, Christmas, we will read that portion of scripture. Mary, mother of Jesus, gets pregnant by the power of the Holy Spirit. She is betrothed to Joseph. Joseph in the night realizes, this girl I'm about to marry is pregnant.
Yeah.
And in the dead of the night, akiwa amelala hivi, anakumbuka, Mary is pregnant, not by me. And he wants to run away. But when he's struggling whether to stick or run away, the Holy Spirit speaks to him. And this is what we are lacking. that we never allow people outside us to give us advice. We go to Dr. Google, we go to the wrong friends. What I would encourage Agnes is our marriages don't work because of ourselves alone.
Yes,
There are
it's
people around
efforts.
us. Yeah.
Sawa. Sami from Chakos, please reduce the volume of your TV set. Sami, hello, unanisikia?
Yeah, man. Hii mambo ya separation,
Naam.
it has amazed me because
Yes.
you find a couple like me.
Yes.
Wife went 12 years ago,
12 years ago, yes.
and we have kids.
Yes.
The kids are on my side and are learning. Most of them, they went through university. They have got their couple also. I love them.
Yes.
The wife has gone away for those 12 years. He does not listen me, does not take my phone, he does not come home. And he is working. I'm here, I'm not working. Although I'm doing my business.
Yes.
So, how can you advise? I can see an advisor there.
Yes. Is there any particular person you want to tackle your question, or anyone can tackle it? I think he's referring
Staying
to.
alone at my age is so bad. So, what do I have to do? I don't have and somebody to tell me what to do. I want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your question. You're the expert he was referring to. So I think it goes back to, let's just hold this thought. We'll take a short break, then when we come back, we'll tackle it. I think he's also referring to, he's preempted my question here, where we have couples, separated or not, but the lady is earning more, so probably she's using that to now even keep the kids away from you. You know, such situations. Or also even the women, you'll tell us, and you as well. Where you have the woman is working, like the way when we started, we were saying yuko na yuko, like the woman still feels she's the one going to work, ameachwa kwa nyumba, you know, those kind of situations. So when we come back, you'll tackle Sami's situation first, because he's saying I don't know if you've heard, he said, I love my kids. I'm very old now. I'm doing my businesses, but they're not prospering. But she's the one with a job, she's doing well, but ni kama anakata access to the children. So how he can do that. Thank you very much for keeping your calls coming. The number is on your bottom right of your screen. You can still tweet us. Get in touch. We have a very good panel here that's going to be helping you tackle your questions. Don't be afraid. You're helping somebody out there. So sharing is caring. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we tackle Sami's question. Don't go away.
Akipiga hatua tutapiga, akivuka bonde basi nasi tutavuka. Hii ni Mboni ya TV47. Hatuchoki, tutakesha, tutarauka.
punde sasa.
Nipe countdown. 2, 1.
Na kuletea matangazo moja kwa moja kutoka kongamano la 6 la ugatuzi hapa Kirinyaga County.
Hapa ni mjini Meru.
Tupo katika eneo la Waitavia County ya Kiambu.
Hivi leo tuko Nairobi Cinema.
Hapa ni Kina, ukipenda Kinango.
Usiwache hiyo timu ipotee.
Kama huyu amekataa, tafuta mwingine, maisha isonge mbele.
Mabadiliko haya yangali yanazua msuke baina ya washikadau.
Baadhi ya changamoto hizo zilikuwa ni kama vile ukosefu wa maarifa.
Wameweza kupeperusha bendera ya Kenya.
Tutaingia kwenye mapumziko kidogo.
Chavi!
Na hii, mpenzi mtazamaji, ndiyo
TV47,
Macho na sauti yetu.
Welcome back. This is Engage. We're discussing separation and divorce. We have Victor Karani, a psychologist and educator in the building. We have Pastor Susan Kibe, who's a single mom and also a pastor, and she's been taking us through her own situation and what she has been helping other couples in the same spot. We have Reverend Kamau Thairo, parish minister, PCA Pangani Church. Thank you very much, guys, for helping people out there. We've been having various calls coming in, and before we went for the break, we had a question from Sami, which will be tackled by everyone very fast, but we'll start off by Victor Karani. Yes. As we stand by to tackle that, remember we also have happening now news-making headlines in the hour, 41st commemoration of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, which is happening at the Holy Family Basilica. Once the link is ready, we'll definitely cross over and keep you updated on the happenings. Karani.
Yes.
Sami's question.
Yes.
I think
sure.
It's a man thing, let me say. Mimi kama mwanaume, the way they say, they feel very bad when a woman is not allowing them to see their kids. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
or even, especially when they are earning lower than the woman.
I would like to start with the topic on the issue of children.
Yes.
I know that has a lot to do with the legal aspect of custodial rights and all that. We're supposed to have the children, and what about the other parent? They're supposed to see them. But what I encourage couples who have undergone separation is that if there is any time that their children need effective co-parenting, is a time like now when they are separated, because it does not help when you have gone with the children and what you are doing is just poisoning their minds about the other parent. Because remember, it is not their mistake. Actually, it is your mistake because you are the one who chose that person to be their parent. So, so it does not help you to go ahead and protect them unless it has been established that that other parent has some issues. For example, you've had cases of kidnapping and all that. But what I would advise Sami is to seek help in terms of legal help, because it has more to do with the custodial issues and all that. We're supposed to have the children, and how is he supposed to visit them and all that. On the other side of earnings, where the wife is earning more, and it is not only earning, even in terms of the way a person is endowed. Because, for example, I had an issue whereby one lady was saying, my husband only sees up to here. He is not able to see beyond his nose. But for this lady, she has big visions, she has big aspirations and all that. But she,
yes, that was Beatrice.
Actually, it was another case I was handling elsewhere.
So it's common.
Yeah, it is common. Because she was saying, as long as, this husband, as long as he has food on the table, he's settled. But this is okay. But this lady wants more she wants big issues, big dreams to be accomplished. So that does not reverse how a family should function.
Yes.
Because we come together to supplement and complement each other. So if you are earning more than your husband, that doesn't make you the head of the family. Because that is where wisdom and submission comes in. That is where, because I talk about marriage, it is about covering the other person's nakedness. If your husband is out of job, if he's not earning as much, if you know he has some weaknesses, it is up to you to know how to cover him. Because we've seen cases whereby the parents even go ahead and tell their children, I'm the one who pays your school fees, I'm the one who pays the house rent, this guy doesn't do anything. That does not help. You should come in to help, to support this man. And one thing that men like is that kind of support.
Okay,
Yes.
Karani. Richard from Wasingishu, good morning. What's your question? Richard, nakupata?
Sasa nilikuwa nauliza,
Naam.
my wife is separated. The fact remains that was not our choice.
Richard, unanipata?
Nasikia.
Naam. Swali lako ni lipi?
My wife wants to separate with me because I was not of her choice.
Of her tribe or her choice?
Hatukupati vizuri Richard. Swali ni lipi?
Nasema, sorry ni anataka tuachane sababu I was not the best to her.
There's a word I'm missing. Is it choice or tribe?
Anataka kukuacha because you are not the best for her.
Yeah, I was not of her choice.
You are not of her choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's like
amepata
she's regretting.
mwingine au anakuambia sababu ni zipi?
That's the only reason she can give, but hajaniambia ingine kama amepata. But that's the big reason she gives.
Okay. Muna watoto?
Moja.
Bado. Moja. Haya. Mmekuwa pamoja kwa muda upi?
Like 2 years now.
Sorry, rudia? 2 years.
Miaka 2.
Haya. Na swali lako ni lipi?
For 2 years, for the last 2 years.
Naam. Na swali lako ni lipi Richard?
I wanted your advice on how to tackle this matter. The advice here is what can I do? Can I give her time to do what she wants? Yaani ni advice kwenu. Yeye anataka tuachane sababu ya hiyo. Can I give her time?
Yeah, can I give her time?
Yeah,
She
can I
says-
give-
yeah.
Aya, asante sana Richard.
Okay.
Kwa swali lako. Yes, so the lady says they've been together 2 years. The lady
2 years.
says you are not my choice. Probably she has seen others, whatever. The way you're saying, you're telling Beatrice the time factor, like give space.
Yes.
So he's asking, can I give her time? Najia kiendaga. Stairu, your take on that?
First, on the first case here, Sami from
Sami.
Machakos.
Yes.
I think there are several things he needs over and above, and I think some of them he brought out clearly. But I wish to remind him that he needs to be proud first. That the failure of his marriage does not make him a poor dad.
Yes.
Only one aspect has been affected. That's being husband to someone. So he needs to be proud of his children.
He's still a dad at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's still a dad, and he needs. And I think that is one of the things I picked. That I still love my children. When a man says that, he must be.
He means it. Yeah.
Very proud of his children. So that one, I think that's very important for him. 2, it's not all lost. They say that you must be very careful so that your ambition does not jeopardize the relationships around you.
Okay. Going to Richard?
Richard?
Yes.
Now, Richard has the case of, Richard says, his wife now says that he was not his choice.
Yes.
They have a child, married for 2 years. never make permanent decisions because of temporary situations. Because what I perceive is probably they are now having a conflict. And in the heat of the moment, the wife said, "Ata wewe si wewe mzuri." I had seen other people. So I pray that they take some time and cool off. I'm not telling them to walk out. Just take a moment and think through. The things I said and the things she said, and the things she said and the things I said, do they make sense?
Yeah.
He needs not to walk out.
Yeah.
Making a permanent decision for a temporary situation.
Supposing
he walks out and then he realizes, by the way.
Okay. Your take on that very briefly?
I think it's basically what we were talking about actually, the foundation. How did we begin? And as they're saying, you see, even separation is not like it's a fun thing you can just do. It's not that you're just making it the way he's saying a decision, because no, that child will be affected. And even them, even if it's a heated argument for now, probably next week it's over. So is there somebody again who you can refer, who you can work with you through, a neutral person? Because me, I said, he said, there needs to be somebody who was not in the saying that will be able to give a sober the answer to whatever it is. Because saying that you will step out because now we have fought, I have realized you are not the one, or that is it would be a very unfortunate decision to take.
Especially when a child is involved.
Yes.
Karani?
Yes, Edward?
No, on what's his name again? Richard.
Richard.
Yes.
Yes. What I can tell Richard is that if there is a time that he needs to put his foot down, it's now. Whatever is happening is in his marriage. He needs to know what exactly this lady is talking about. And that means that he, through listening, you will realize, you will come to hear what this lady is saying. When she tells him, "You are not my choice," then he needs to look around and see, what can I change, what can I work on? And this lady should be willing to support him. However, if things don't seem to work out, because I say the man is the head of this thing, is the head of this marriage. So at times as men, you'll sit down and tell your wife, "Come on, we need to have a sober discussion. We need to have we have to agree, even at times to agree to disagree."
Yes.
Yeah, so he needs to put his foot down and ensure that
he makes known what his intentions are for the house.
For the house, yes.
Sawa. As we wind up, very briefly from each one of you, you'll start by telling us what is a love language and how do you get to know your partner's love language? Because in my opinion, I'm thinking maybe that's the step one. Like if I know his love language, then we won't be fighting as much. As we wrap up this.
First, we need to define what the love language is.
What's going on here?
Love language is a principle that was proposed by Gary Chapman. And he says that every person expresses love in a certain way and expects other people to express love to them in a certain way. And he gives 5 ways. I hope I remember all of them. Quality time, gifts, affirmation. I forget the other 3. But they're 5.
Yes.
They are 5. So I agree. Many times couples fight because of different love languages and they do not understand how each speaks their own love language. The question is, how do you discover your spouse's love language? I do not have a particular
trial and error. You see, so this is how it works during courtship.
So far for me is you have to be very observant.
Okay.
What makes them happy? You have to listen. You have to listen at their responses. You could probably also ask them, by the way, what works for you? Yeah.
And then they'd be like, they keep saying, Pastor Susan, that ladies are very difficult. So if a man would ask you that, I'm like, kwani unijui? So
that's true.
Kwani unijui? Where's he work? Lazima niulize. Like you can't,
just surprise me.
Surprise me, and then you bring the wrong surprise. Very quickly.
Wow, I would say when you're getting to know each other, during courtship, there's a way you will pick out what this person likes. If it's a person who there is quality time, there's somebody.
I've remembered there's a quality touch,
yes, quality touch, and communication, and communication as well. Because there's somebody who, if you go quiet on me for a day we have not spoken, that's already a fight. We are
Yes,
thinking, you know.
it is.
So get to
The
understand.
silent treatment.
Silent treatment. Get to understand what this person, what drives them, what brings the best out of them. Is it quality? Give them quality time. What does it cost?
Especially that one.
Quality time.
For me, away from the love language, I believe in the principle of reciprocity, whereby we are told that the world has a way of giving back
what you
give it. So if you have a partner whereby what you are giving out is just trash, making them feel like they are less human being,
it back.
Definitely you get that. Because you have people who keep on telling others you are stupid, you don't have a vision, you see, definitely you get that kind of a person. You make them lack vision, you make them look stupid in your eyes, you make them look like they are not your choice. But the moment you learn to give what you would expect to get back, compliments, appreciating people, how they look, what they do, not only castigating other people. The world has a way of giving back to you exactly what you
try and share some sunlight every now and
Yes.
then.
Amazing.
Remember, they keep saying when you water a flower, it definitely blossoms. You can't just be looking at your neighbor's garden and he's watering his and you're imekauka tu and you expect it to give you good returns. Thank you very much, Karani, for your time and for helping us out. Thank you, Pastor Susan, for sharing your personal experience. Not many people do that. Reverend Tairo, bado unafanya PR ya kanisa, but thank you for your help. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a wonderful 2 hours. Thank you for calling in throughout the session. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your questions with us via the number that was on the screen. Thank you for tweeting. Remember, all hope is not lost, like Reverend Tairo said. There are marriages that work. So it's just a few hiccups, but still there is help. You can reach out to whoever is your role model, your neighbor, your mother, whoever it is that you think can give you an outsider out of your circle that can give you a sober discussion. That wraps it for today. Join me next Thursday on Engage for yet another powerful discussion. Remember, going on is the 41st commemoration of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta at the Holy Family Basilica, and currently speaking is the First Lady Margaret Kenyatta. Also, don't go away, because right after that, we have Matukio Nyanjani. From us here, it's Kwaheri, right? Bye-bye.